Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, executive branch, judicial branch, legislative branch, House of Lords, House of Commons, royal family, public citizens. The reason I called you here tonight to this meeting is to express something that is very deeply wrong with this country. And this country, I mean the United States, which also is affecting all the other countries. Now, I'll start by introducing myself in case you don't know. I am King Rollo's great-grandson. King Rollo is the king of the Vikings. His family gave birth to the entire royal family line. His family created Parliament, which then created government. King Rollo's family line is my mother's last name. King Rollo's last name is my mother's last name. King Rollo's name is also my grandmother's and my great-grandmother's last name, and all the way back to King Rollo. There are only 25,000 true King Rollo descendants on the planet. I'm also a Plantagenet on the other end of my family. Queen Elfrida Elfrith, the first Crown Queen of England, is my great-grandmother. So was her husband, the king. As well as King Henry the First, Second, Third, and the entire royal Plantagenet family line is my family. Those are my great-grandparents. The knights, dukes, barons, lords, they're all my family. The last royal king in my family holding title closest to me would be the King of Man, the Lord Titular King of Ireland and King of Man. He was a royal knight of the Garter. And he was no joke. None of them were a joke. None of the Plantagenet family line, which is my family. None of the King Rollo family line, which is my family. And then we have King Henry V, who is also my family on my father's side. Then we have the Tudor family, which is also my family. To put it very short, blunt, and simple, my family is the royal family. Even Queen Elizabeth II, Prince Charles, Prince William, Prince Harry, are all underneath me. They're cousins. My family put them into position. They didn't put us into position. My family put them into position. Because we have a very long, a very strong, a very educated, a very very precise way of looking and seeing through people. We've done it for thousands of years. And we can cut through all of the crap and find a good person. My family did not put anybody in the White House. We didn't put anybody in the Senate, in the Congress of the United States. We did not put anybody in the secret agencies, the Secret Service, the NSA, the CIA, the FBI. All the underground agencies that say they don't exist but do exist. My family put none of them into position. Instead, what happened was they're a bunch of garbage, killed my family, murdered, tricked their way into the positions of the White House, the Senate, the Congress, all of those executive, judicial branches. Then they hired more garbage and more garbage and more garbage on top of garbage. And now you got a whole country full of garbage that my family never selected. But who my family did pick was Queen Elizabeth II. Go figure that one. I outrank each and every one of them. But we'll get to that in a minute. The United States government made very big mistakes in thinking I would be like them. They thought, oh, well, he looks like us. No, I don't look like you. I look like a Plantagenet. I look like King Rollo's family. I look like King Henry V's family. I look nothing like you. Do you know why? Because I am the true royal family. And the United States government thought that, oh, he was here, born here in the United States, he's like us. They were dead wrong. My family are Royal Knights of the Garter. These weird, deranged, delusional, mentally disturbed, mentally challenged people in the United States governments and agencies thought that a royal knight could be bought. They thought a royal king could be bought. Not at all. Not whatsoever. In fact, we put our lives on it. You never, ever challenge a real royal knight and a real royal king. Or his family. Because we won't be bought. The United States government has created artificial things, artificial intelligence. Now, for one, I hate artificial things. I do not like fake things. I do not like plastic things. Imagine if you had artificial vitamins, artificial food, artificial cows, artificial dogs, artificial watches, artificial clothes, fake designers, fake brands. Fake this, fake that, artificial this, artificial that, fake sugar, artificial food, artificial candy. No. How about artificial people? The government wants you to accept artificial people now. They're trying to sell you their line of BS they think is normal. They're kidnapping and murdering people and placing artificial intelligence inside of them. Yes, they are. And they're going to expect you to think that that's normal. I'm sorry, but it's not. I don't know if you're a fan of computer systems or this delusional world that they've created, but it's not normal. The highest military ranks, Mark Millery, John Hyten, and David Nordquist are all well aware of what's going on. So is the president, so is the legislative, the judicial, and the executive branches of the United States. The artificial intelligence program operates off of satellites in space, which there's over 6,000 satellites in the space. I'm not sure which ones, but I do know some of them are actually controlling human beings as we speak. They're making human beings shoot other human beings and kill and stab human beings. They're making people commit suicide. They're also placing these artificial intelligence. They have multiple levels of artificial intelligence. They're also cutting people open with it. Like they've been working on cadavers ever since the 1920s, right? So they've been developing things like they can grow noses and ears and hair and bodies and recreate people from DNA and clone people. Yeah, they can make a whole fake person from a little DNA. They can also make skin. They can place a skin, cut you open, put a skin, rub some skin back over on it, and you'll never even know you were cut open. Well, now what they're doing is what they're using those medical devices, they were designed for the hospitals, where they can monitor you from home. They can monitor your heart from home. They can monitor your body from home. The hospitals are using these. The government started using them too, but what they're doing is they're placing them inside of you, and they're killing people. Yeah, they're just turning them off. They're putting them into places where they can actually stop your blood flow, stop your heart, stop your brain, turn your brain off, turn your body off, all from a computer. It's run off of a satellite in space. I'm not sure which satellites those are, but there's over 6,000 of them. And the government wants you to think that this is all real. That's how sick and twisted and disgusting these people are. They're also printing fake money. They've been buying up billions of dollars of corporations and businesses and houses and cars and jewelries to live out their lavish, delusional plans of artificial intelligence ruling the world. They've also injected things like Sophie, the artificial intelligence girl. They've also injected real ones of those into the world. So they're actually riding around, driving around in cars, and you don't even know it, because they have this fake human skin on them. But they are printing up trillions and billions of dollars in fake money. And they're buying up everything, including all the satellite companies in space, so nobody can compete with them. And they want you to accept all this. They think it's normal. To them, it's normal. They sent their military troops because they've had thousands and hundreds of thousands of military personnel go to all the wars since the early 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. They've sent them all into your neighborhoods. Now they've secretly and covertly turned all the military personnel into weapons as well against you in case something breaks out. They started experimenting originally on military and military families. I was one of those children because my family was a military family. They started molesting me using their artificial intelligence programs in the 1970s. And they started raping me. The NSA had cameras recording this the entire time for the 50 years, but said nothing. NASA just kept sending more satellites up there and aiding the government for their artificial intelligence programs while they were raping and kidnapping people. They were literally kidnapping children. They still are. All those missing children, that's where they went. They put them in Area 51, and they put them to their Washington, D.C. laboratories where they could experiment on children or rape children, molest children, just to see the effects of what happened. And they want you to think that that's okay. They're doing that to women. They're doing that to men. Adults, old people, young people. See, they first started experimenting on animals. And then they moved to kidnapping and stealing humans. Because as I was told, and one of them told me to my face, he says, it doesn't work on animals. We can't test it on animals. We have to test it on people in our laboratories. So they started kidnapping humans and experimenting on them in their laboratories. And then they got bored with that. Then they had to start experimenting on humans in real life conditions out in life so they could see what it's like in real life conditions. So then they started experimenting on people and putting artificial intelligence and diseases on people and injuries and illnesses on people out in the public and out in the world just to see what would happen. This is how disgusting and deranged and delusional these people really are. They're disgusting. They're sick. They are mentally challenged, mentally sick people. They are mentally ill. And they want you to accept this as this is just the normal thing. This is the new world order. This is how we're changing things. Let me inform you, these people are not the royal family. They never were, never will be. My family is the direct royal family line. These people are the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 10th, 20th, 30th cousins. My family is the direct royal family line. We ran over 15 countries. The United States would not be here if it wasn't for my family. But then when my family got here, they tricked, coerced, manipulated, and even murdered my family out of the way so that they could take over and rule B positions because they knew my family knew how to judge people and make sure that the right people were in position. They knew that if my family was in power, we would never let them in. They're absolutely right. We never would have let them in. But with their artificial intelligence, they've also taken over the leaders of the world. They have multiple levels of artificial intelligence. One, they can cut you open, implant things that take your spinal cord or your nervous system or your body. Much like a frog in science class, where they can hook electric up to the frog's muscles and make it jump. They can do that with you too. Only they went farther with it, and they could cut and sever your brain cords, kind of like an electrical wire, and just continue the wire on the other end. However, there's an interceptor in between it, and that interceptor in between it controls what you do instead of you controlling what you do. They've been making people shoot people, kill people, murder people, sexually molest, rape, commit crimes against each other and to themselves, with artificial intelligence inserted inside of them. People even talk and say things that they wouldn't say. And this government wants you to think that this is normal. That's how that's how big of criminals they are. They are criminals, and they need to be dealt with. They are criminals, and they need to be dealt with on a criminal level. Each and every one of them. All of the branches, all of the legislations, all of the secret agencies. They've even moved their own people into the police departments and police forces and the military forces. Oh yeah, absolutely. The Pentagon is a big one. In fact, the artificial intelligence program was designed for the military, so the military knows full well what it's about. They have over 6,000 satellites in the United States, up in space. I'm not sure which ones, but a few of those are controlling you and controlling humans, making them do things that they would not do. They're making blondes mix with blacks and blacks mix with blondes and Hispanics mix with blacks and Hispanics with blondes and mixing this person with that person and with that person with this person, all for a social experiment just to see what happened. They're controlling you without you even knowing it. You ever hear those whispers? Anybody hear whispers in their ears? Those aren't voices, that's the government. You ever get those thoughts in your head that aren't your thoughts? That's the government. They have 6,000 satellites in the space, and their program is actually running off those satellites and the computer systems. You know all those singers, actors, and leaders, world leaders? Yeah. You all know that those singers in the last 10, 15 years have been fake. You know it and I know it. They can also cut your vocal cords. Like I said, they've been working on cadavers for like 75 years in their laboratories. They spent trillions on working on cadavers and bodies. They know exactly how your body works. They can recreate any body part. They cut your vocal cords. All of a sudden you can sing. They're disgusting. These people are criminals, and they need to be stopped. All the actors, they can't act. The leaders of the world, they even traveled the world and they've assaulted all the leaders. They've attacked the leaders. The government has literally declared war on the United States. Ever since 2004, 2005, roughly, they've declared war on the United States. They've been attacking people and setting people up, making people commit crimes, making others commit crimes, killing, shooting, robbing, murdering, kidnapping. They can control the masses. For example, that White House raid that just happened. How do you think that happened? Do you think that really happened? They used their artificially inseminated people. They're artificial intelligence people that were injected with artificial intelligence to raid the Capitol because they knew there would be no threat. They just sent their own people and made you think that it was real. It wasn't real. That's how big of criminals these people are. They're lying to you, they're cheating you, they're stealing you, they're committing crimes against you, and you're just accepting it. NASA, NSA, the military, the Pentagon, and the White House all know about it. And what's even funnier is that I outrank each and every one of them. I do. I outrank each and every one of them. How is that possible? Because they are all European. However, they're what I call the bastard cousins. They're not even close to being as royal as I am. They made the mistake of thinking I was like them, thinking that I would accept it when they murdered 7 of my family members, including my mom, my brother, my sister, my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, my nieces and nephews, all within the last 10 years. And then they expected me, because they tortured and threatened me so much with murder, they thought that I would give in if they threatened me with killing more people in my family. They didn't count on one thing. I'm a royal knight of the garter. I'm a royal king. I'm a royal prince. I'm nothing like them. I am not a criminal. Never have been, never will be. And if there's any criminal things in my past, they are the ones who would have done it. These people are 100%, 1 million, billion, trillion % criminals. They're spending and printing money they do not even have to buy companies so they can have the power. Do you not understand what they're doing? They're murdering and kidnapping people. They're raping people. They're making people shoot people and kill people. And they want you to accept all this as normal. Their artificial intelligence runs off of multiple levels. One is a satellite in space, which actually acts like a force field around you, which can actually control you and control animals and move them around. Yeah. The other one is, like I said, the artificial, medically inserted artificial intelligence. They have different versions of it. Then they have one that's actually just a pure robot with human skin on it, that they've actually put in, like Sophie, that they put into the public. These people are disgustingly criminals. They are criminalistic. They are deadly. They are violent. They are unnatural. They are inhumane. They are unhumane. They are not human. They are, matter of fact, they literally are alien to every single one, to every single person. Because they are not the royal family. They are murderers and criminals. The only way to stop their artificial intelligence program, they have 6,000 satellites in space. I'm not sure which ones control the people, but they're bouncing off the satellites in space. And if you get rid of all those satellites, then you'll end that problem. I know a lot of you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I urge each and every one of you to scream and make as much noise as you possibly can with the police departments, but they've even injected their police departments with military personnel, their own personnel, and artificial intelligence personnel. But I would encourage you all to do what you can to get rid of this problem. Because this is a huge problem, and these people are doing it. And unfortunately, they've even got me as well. But I do outrank each and every one of them. Because they are all European. They're the bastard cousins. Unfortunately, they are actually my great-grandchildren as well. But they're in my family system. My family created the system that they're working in. The governmental system. King Rollo's family, my family created the entire legal system. They included, my family created Parliament, my family, which created the government. My family also created the Royal Knights, the Royal Armies, which created the military. All of that came from my family. My family even created the secret agencies and secret services. That's all from my family. My family created the laws, the rules, the regulations, the armed forces. All these people don't have any ground to stand on because my family created all of it. And I am the immediate and direct great-grandson of all of it. So it makes no sense why I'm below them. It makes no sense why I'm below them at all. Because these people are criminals. They have no idea how to run a country. All they know is to cheat, lie, and steal. And to make weapons. That's it. They don't know how to run a country. Zero. Zilch. Zip. But they do know how to murder. And they do know how to build things to murder people. But that's about it. Running a country, forget about it. They have no clue. Since they've got me, I fear that they've also got Prince Harry. And a few others. They live in places like Malibu. They live in places like Beverly Hills. And outlying areas in Los Angeles. Oh, yes, they do. They look like they are the military personnel who are living there. They are the hired executives, military or Washington, D.C. personnel that are living in those areas. Yes, they are. They're not stupid, and neither am I. They also try to inject themselves into your lives. Once they start to choose you for an experiment, they try to inject themselves into your lives for 5, 10, 15 years so they can watch how their experiment is working on you when they've injected things into you, give you ailments, give you illnesses, hurt your body, give you injuries, just to see how you react. And they try to inject themselves by becoming your friend or somehow work their way into your lives so they can watch firsthand what's going on with you. Yeah, they are that criminal-minded. They are very, extremely violent. They are terrorists. And they've literally declared war on the United States and you don't even know it. They inject themselves into your life to watch you die. Just like they did to my mom, my brothers, my sisters, my aunts, uncles, and nieces, nephews, and cousins, and even me. Oh, I have a long list of their personnel. I do know exactly who their personnel is because they've all tried to inject themselves into my lives. Oh, they're very tricky. They make things look like they're natural. When they kill people and they murder people, they make it look like it's a natural cause because they're doing it from a remote in space, which is actually bounced from a computer. They set up, create fake atmospheres, fake environments where they have all their little artificial people over here who are all doing this and doing that and saying this and saying that so they can control you. It's not a joke. They use languages like doublespeak, which is what cults use, or triplespeak. Or they try to use like little power punch words when they walk by you to say something. It's like every 5 minutes, this, that. So eventually it breaks you down or they can control you or brainwash you. It doesn't work on me. It doesn't work on me at all, and it never will. Because they're garbage to me. Like I said, they're the bastard cousins of my family who failed and never would have been chosen. If you guys know what I'm talking about and you are a victim, I would urge you to move forward and to contact as many people as you possibly can regarding this and make some noise about it, because with those 6,000 satellites in space, they control and zoom in, and they could literally with those satellites in space, they can control everything. God bless you guys.